They need food, housing, clothing. They need counseling. They need understanding of what's happened to them. They need an identity. They need to know the truth about the Lord. They need to be woke up to who the devil is. That's right. White man. That's what the hell they need. And you add that to black people, Latinos, and they in you, brother, then you gonna be able to do something. The whole reason I'm here saying these things to you, because these things are supposed to show you and give you hope. It's supposed to make you say to yourself, you know what, we got a kingdom coming. You know what, the Lord's judgment is coming. You know what, let's change our life.
All right. Clap it up. That was a hell of an intro. I had to see that again. That was the chop and cut intro. That was my brother Aisha Allah, my brother Coralla Cum, and my brother Officer Yagarda, Yagarda. You know, that was a hell of an intro. I like that intro. This is the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. 1 West News Desk under Captain Sicario. This is where we giving y'all that local news, international news, and some national news. We're gonna mix it up a little bit. We're gonna see what we got today. You know, we don't get to hear all kinds of news. You know, our oppressor suppresses a lot of news. That's why we go with a little local news just to let us know what's going on where we live at. Right now, we're in Baltimore, so we're gonna give you a little bit of Baltimore news and a little surrounding counties and things like that. Some national news, if anything's happening nationally, and some international news. Right now, we're gonna get into this article, and this is a real heavy article right here because it involves, you know, the little ones, the children. You understand what I'm saying? And by the way this situation is going, it seems to me like the perpetrator must be an oppressor because the person is still being employed. Now let's get into this article right here. So, from Anne Arundel County, out Severna Park. It says a former Severna Park teacher remains employed. Did you hear that? A former Severna Park teacher remains employed, assigned to a location with no students. Right there, that's the headline. The headline should tell you right there. Students are involved. He's still employed, though. I believe it is a he. Now let's read, and we're going to find out because I don't want to give any hints. I don't want to assume. I already read the article. I know, but I just want you to hear the headlines and know what's going on. Anne Arundel County, in Anne Arundel County, a former Severna Park elementary school teacher accused of sexually assaulting his students remains employed by Anne Arundel County Public Schools and has been assigned to a work location with no students. Now, we don't want to compare, right? But we have to compare in this situation. Anytime you have an assault against a child, and especially if the accused is so-called Black or Hispanic, they are immediately arrested, whether they're innocent or not, immediately arrested. But this perpetrator right here has not been arrested. As a matter of fact, he's still employed by the Anne Arundel County school system. Listen, when we hear articles like this and we hear stories like this, this is another reason for us to start teaching our own children. You understand? When you allow another people to train up, to teach your children to be over your children, they do what they want to do to your children. You understand? Now, I'm not saying that this has not happened to us by us. That's not what I'm getting at. What I want us to understand is that it's about time for us to stand up and start taking charge of our own people. We need to lead our own people, because these type of things happen, and this is the things that happen that should wake people up, that should make people alert you. You understand? It's getting more prevalent. You understand? It's getting more and more prevalent. It's beginning to happen in a lot of different schools. You understand what I'm saying? And we need to take the initiative and start standing up and start doing what we have to do to start securing our children amongst our own people. You understand? It says on July 1st, Matthew Schlegel, this is an oppressor, was acquitted of more than a dozen criminal charges after a year behind bars. Following the verdict, Anne Arundel County public schools lifted Schlegel's unpaid suspension and restored his full employment despite the outcry by parents and residents in the school district. Listen, the people, if there's an outcry, when there's an outcry for the people after somebody has been, and it says, following the verdict that the Anne Arundel County public school system lifted the unpaid suspension and restored his full employment. Listen, people know when things happen. People know when there have been injustices. And when people react like this, you know somebody knows somebody that got this to happen. You understand? The school district released the following statement of his employment status. And think about it, right? If his employment's, listen, all right, let's go in. Our school district's investigation into the matter is not yet complete. If it's not yet complete, listen, how is the verdict lifted? Unpaid suspension and restored his full employment if it's not completed. See, this doesn't happen to Blacks and Hispanics. Nothing like this happens to Blacks and Hispanics. And again, it is in our oppressor to be a beast like he is. It is in white people to be like this. We keep looking at them and believing, oh, no, all of them are not like that. They all are like that. All it does is take the right thing to bring the evil out. You understand? All it does is it takes the right thing. You understand what I'm saying? It takes the right things to bring the evil out in these people, you know? And they all have some kind of evil fascination. You understand? So we have to be cautious and be alert to our surroundings and the people that are around our children, or these type of things happen. And the worst thing that can happen on top of that is that somebody can be acquitted or released on charges that should pound them into the ground. You understand? These are the things that happen. It says the school district released the following statement of his employment status, and I'm gonna read it again. It says our school district investigation into the matter is not yet complete. If it's not yet complete, how do you lift all of that and re-employ him and give him his full status and unsuspend him? Mr. Schlegel remains fully employed at and has been assigned to a work location at which there are no students. If the verdict has been lifted, why is he working somewhere where there are no students? You understand? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. You know, Schlesel's attorney, Patrick Seidel, look at this, right? Also released a statement on his client. Matthew Schlegel was fully exonerated in a court of law. Fully exonerated in a court of law. He got his job back, but they have him working in a place where there are no children. It doesn't sound right to me. You understand? Yet, these false allegations continue to damage his reputation, career, and personal life far more than the temporary loss of liberty ever did. The fair and responsible course now is to acknowledge his exoneration, respect his privacy, and allow him to move on with his life. Earlier this month, Schlegel's legal team sent nearly 100 preservation letters formally requesting the retention of all emails, texts, and social media posts related to the case. The letters cite potential claims Schlegel has against multiple individuals stemming from false allegations. His attorney calls it standard practice, while recipients call it a scare tactic. Only one civil lawsuit has been filed to date. A parent of one of the girls continuing to accuse her former math teacher of sexual assault brought litigations against Schlegel in Savannah Park Elementary School, Kyle Butler. However, signs now point to more lawsuits yet to come. Listen, this is the very thing that integration, this is the very situation that integration put us into. Now, I don't know if the children are our children or oppressors' children. Anne Arundel County Public School, it's a mixture of kids out in Anne Arundel County Public School system. So it could be, it might not be. You understand what I'm saying? But the whole point is integration put us in a position to be in this kind of position. We gave up all our schools. We gave up all of our restaurants. We gave up all of our banks. We gave up everything to be integrated. Hold on 1 minute. We coming. We coming. And this is what the beast does. You understand? These are the things, these are the tendencies of the beast. You understand? To do things like this. We have to be vigilant. We have to be alert and watch. You understand? And like I said before, this is what integration does. This is what Martin Luther King brought us into. Martin Luther King even actually said it himself. He believed that he integrated us into a burning house. You understand? He walked us right into danger, walked us right into a trap, basically. You understand? And look at us now. Now we're controlled in our schools. We're controlled everywhere, every aspect of our lives. You understand? Think about it, right? We own nothing in our own neighborhoods. Everybody owns everything around us except for us. And they control what we do. They control what we eat. They control what we hear. Think about it, right? Our oppressor has control of the airways, controls everything that we think about it, right? They're telling you that you can't say these words, you can't say those words, but they say them were the same words themselves. You can't say this, you can't do this, you can't do that, but they do the same things themselves. They make laws and break their own laws. These are the people that call good evil and evil good. This is what we're under. These are the things. This is what we ask for. And we ask for integration. You understand? We ask for equality. Think about it. No, there is no such thing as equality. There's no such thing as equality. We make none of the rules in our schools. We make none of the rules in our cities. We make none of the rules in this country. Only the oppressor. And then the rules that they make, they get to break them. We're looking at it right here. They make you think they're going through the justice system. They make you think that justice is blind, but they go through that justice system and they do evil and get off of doing evil. They get freed. They get exonerated from doing the evil that they do, but we don't. Even when we don't do evil, look at the things happening now. Look how they locking our brothers up. Look how brothers are being locked up in prisons now. Look at what ICE is doing to our Hispanic brothers and sisters. You understand? They supposed to be going after criminals, but they go after anyone that looks like us. Doesn't matter whether you're innocent or not. They go after you because of who we are. You understand? That oppressor is off, and he's back in his element. It's not his full element because they don't have him around children yet, but believe it or not, they will have him around children again, and it will happen again. You know, I'm gonna drop that article. We're gonna get into something different. We're gonna get into something else. Let's see what this is a concert right here. This is a concert. What is this? This is Doechie's name used in alleged concert promoted scam, lawsuit reveals. So evidently this what is she, a singer, rapper, singer, Doechie? Somebody used her name in a promotional scheme and got $187, almost $200,000 out of a promoter. And now there's a lawsuit. You understand? Well, there was an alleged concert promoter scam. You understand? That opened up a lawsuit. It says a New Jersey concert promoter has been slapped with a six-figure lawsuit over allegedly promising and then failing to secure Doechie and Sir for a Baltimore music festival. So it's supposed to have been happening down here in Baltimore. This is a local thing. I never heard of the name Doechie, but I don't know what she does. Somebody tell me what does Doechie do? She a rapper? A singer? What does she do? I'm guessing a rapper. That's my guess. You understand? I don't know what she does. It says, according to a complaint viewed by the Complex, Atlanta-based entertainment management firm Blackout Management LLC claims that $187,500 was wired to New Jersey booking agent Christopher Young last December to procure Doechie and Sir for the Baltimore Afram Festival. Young claimed that he had access to the Top Dog Entertainment artist through the Powerhouse label, but allegedly that wasn't the case. So he hustled them out of $187,000. By March 2025, the suit claims Young told Blackout that the artist wouldn't be able to perform at the June festival due to touring commitments. It was after months of delay and excuses that Blackout would find out that neither Doechie and Sir was booked to begin with, and that the payment allegedly went to Young Sacrifice Management, LLC. Wow. He hustled. He got them good. It alleges that the booking agent agreed to refund Blackout after signing 2 agreements in May and June. But according to the Atlanta Enterprise, it was never paid. Blackout is suing Young in federal court for fraud, unjust enrichment, and negligent misrepresentation. The company is demanding that the entire deposit, legal fees, interest, and punitive damages. Wow, that's going to be a lot of dough. That's going to probably get close to $500,000. That might clean them out. Despite the booking mishap, Afram Festival went on. Hey, did y'all know that wasn't the Afram Festival? Wasn't that at Druid Hill Park? Druid Hill Park, right? The Afram? I believe it was. Hold on, let me see something. Because this is getting crazy right here, because it's something to this. Let's see. Afram 2025. Said Druid Hill Park. That's crazy too, right? Think about this. The Afram used to be right down there at the M&T Bank Stadium area. You understand? Then it was actually right there in M&T Bank Stadium for years. It's been right there. They moving everything black. They moving right out of downtown Baltimore. You understand? And we got to start recognizing this thing. And this is the thing about us not having our own. When you don't have your own, and I understand, like, it takes a minute, but we have to start recognizing we still have the power. We have the power. Everything that runs in Baltimore runs off of black people. You understand? Blacks and Hispanics run everything in Baltimore and a lot of these surrounding counties. You understand? They run everything off of us. You see who's back in those back kitchens? It's us. You see who's building and making arrangements and doing all of the hustling and the bustling and all of these things that happen in downtown Baltimore. It's the blacks and Hispanics. We got to start taking control and start making things happen for us and not letting things happen for them all the time. Come on, okay. You understand? But that Afram, everything black is being shuffled right out of Baltimore. I mean, right out of the heart of Baltimore. The Afram has always been the heart of Baltimore. You understand? And everything black. And let's let it be known, right? It's not just here in Baltimore, but it's everywhere. You understand? The oppressor is beginning to raise up. You understand? And he knows that his time is coming to an end, and he's destroying anything that's of us, blacks and Hispanics. You understand? They wiping us right out of the history books. All of the history that we have made, the things, the contribution that we have brought to this country. You understand? And the sacrifices that we have made are being wiped away. You understand? Because we're nothing but pushovers. And everybody realizes that you can do anything to black people, Hispanic people, and they won't do anything about it. You understand? We'll go at our own people, though, but we won't go at the oppressor. And I'm not talking about going at the oppressor, fighting and things like that, but there's other ways, and we have showed our power, especially in the 1955 boycott. You understand? Alabama boycott. You understand? And that boycott didn't just happen in Alabama. It happened all across the country. So much so that it began to cripple their economy. One thing began to cripple their economy. And from that one thing, it showed the strength of blacks and Hispanics. We still have that power. We still wield that sword. We just have to learn how to control it and how to use it. You understand? And use it to our advantage. You understand? We've given up everything. We have nothing else to lose. We are at the bottom. There's only one way to go, and that's up. You understand? what we gonna do? Let's get back. Let's get back to it. It says despite the booking mishap, Afram Festival went on with performers including Patti LaBelle, Juvenile, JT Amir, all other people. Okay. All right, that's it right there. You know, let me jump to my next article. Let's jump to the next article. You understand? People getting hustled and everything. This is a little international news right here. Listen. This for all this for all you people that think we are Africans. We are not Africans, right? Listen to this. It says 3 women in Gambia are charged in the death of a 1-month-old infant female from genital mutilation. You understand? Genital mutilation. And this is something that goes on regularly in Africa. Genital mutilation. They do this when children are young. They cut off the genital part of the female child. You understand? And it's a lot that goes into that. I'm not going to get into that, but these are the things that happen. And when we keep saying we African, we are not African, but this is not something that we do. This is not a culture that we picked up. You understand? It says 3 women were charged in Gambia over the death of a 1-month-old girl who had undergone female genital mutilation. The police said in the first such case since the country stopped short of reversing a ban on the practice last year. Now listen, they've been doing this all the way up until last year. So now a child is passes away from it, and now because it's been banned since last year. Now they bringing this story out right here. But think about all the children that it happened to that they didn't talk about because it was illegal at the time. These are the things that we need to, you understand, think about when we keep saying we African, we are not African. Somebody gotta prove. Think about this, right? This is something just to think about. A few years back, a lot of the African nations begin to apologize for their role in the transatlantic slave trade, right? They begin to apologize for their role in the transatlantic slave trade. They apologizing. Who did they apologize to? African nations started apologizing a few years back for their roles in the transatlantic slave trade. If they're apologizing for their roles in the transatlantic slave trade, who are they apologizing to? Now, I want you to think about something, right? Somebody kidnaps your baby. He keeps your baby for a couple of months, maybe a year or so. And then all of a sudden they return your baby to you. Who do they apologize to? That somebody kidnaps your baby and brings your baby back to you maybe a year or so later. Who do they apologize to? They apologize to the person that they took the baby from, right? You apologize to the person that you took the baby from. Well, think about this, right? If African nations are standing up and apologizing for their roles in the transatlantic slave trade, who are they apologizing to? This is something to think about, right? They're not apologizing to other African nations, but didn't they take people from off the African continent? but they're not apologizing to other African nations. They're apologizing to the black people in the Americas and in those countries that those slaves were dropped off to. The one thing that African nations understand is that they did not send other Africans into the transatlantic slave trade. They understand that. They didn't send other Africans into the transatlantic slave trade. They understood that they sent a people into the transatlantic slave trade that did not formerly live on that land where they were kidnapped from. Say it again. They understood that they did not kidnap and send other Africans into the slave trade. They were not apologizing to the other African nations because they knew that they didn't get those people from the other African nations. They understood that these people were people who came from somewhere else. When we start saying we African, we got to start understanding. All you got to do is look at certain details. It's not even hard. You don't even have to be a super sleuth to understand when you start looking at just simple facts. Kenya didn't apologize to Ghana. Ghana didn't apologize to Nambia. You understand? They weren't apologizing to the South Africans. They weren't apologizing to the Ethiopians or anything like that. You understand? They weren't apologizing to other African nations. They were apologizing to the blacks that were here in America and in those Caribbean islands and all the other stops that they made. You understand? That's who they were apologizing to. They understood that we did not kidnap other Africans. We kidnapped the people who came down and settled in Africa. You understand? That's the thing that we have to understand. And that's the thing that we don't understand. You understand? And this is the reason why we don't carry any of those customs and traditions. This is the reason why we look at this like it's crazy. Because even with us knowing that we are not from the Americas, we know that a lot of those customs and cultures over there, we do not approve of because it's not in us to be that way. And they've been carrying on those customs and traditions for a very long time. You understand? Listen, it says the West African nation banned female genital cutting in 2015, but the country was rocked by a renewed debate about the practice last year following the first prosecution of a female cutter. It was the first time the practice, also known as female circumcision and outlawed in many nations, was publicly discussed. Eventually, the Gambian parliament upheld the ban, but many say the practice continues in secrecy. 3 women were charged Tuesday under the ban. The Women's Amendment Act 2015, the Gambian police said in the statement published Wednesday on social media. 1 woman is facing life imprisonment, and the other 2 were charged as accomplices. Preliminary findings indicate the child was allegedly subjected to circumcision and later developed severe bleeding. The police said in a separate statement published Sunday following the infant's death, she was rushed to Bungdung Maternal and Child Health Hospital, where she was pronounced dead on arrival. You understand? Shalom, a little price, bro. How you feeling? All right. The United Nations estimates about 75% of the women in Gambia have been subjected as young girls to the procedure, known by its initials FGM, which includes partial or full removal of the girl's external genitalia. The World Health Organization say it's a form of torture. Listen, I was just telling them, right? I said they just convicted 3 women in Gambia of female genital, mutilation. That's a practice that Africans do, cutting off the woman's genitalia. Yeah, did you know that? What's up, Darash? What's going on with you, bro?
So I knew they did that with the babies.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. I thought you thought it was a joke.
No. They arrested 3 females for taking part in.
Oh, so it's illegal over there.
It's illegal now.
Okay.
It's illegal now. It was banned in 2015, but they still do it in secrecy. It's a part of their customs, it's a part of their culture. You understand? And it's been a part of a lot of those African nations' culture. You understand? I heard about that years ago. You understand? So it's what they do. You know what I mean? So I was also explaining, right? These are the things that we don't do. We look at these Africans and we see the things that they do, and we know that's not something that we do. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm ready to get into another article. That was a little quick article right there. That was a little quickie right there. All right, this is a heavy one right here. Let me make sure. All right. This is an article from today, right? Israel opt. New testimony provides compelling evidence that the Israel starvation of Palestinians in Gaza is a deliberate policy. Now, this is a policy that they carried out, and they said, these are the things that we're going to do.
Right.
We're not going to allow any water in. We're not going to allow any food in.
Right.
Any food that goes in, if the people go near the food.
Right.
You understand? These are, and when every time we see it on the news, it's always, we seen people going at it, but they were they always say that it was the Houthis. They always say it was a militant group, and we were shooting at the militant group.
Right.
And they happened to be in the middle, in the midst of the people. So we were shooting them, and if we made a mistake and hit some people, well, it was just a mistake. But if you think about it, right, every time they say that, they always, it's never any Houthis around. You never hit the Houthis. You always hit the people. You understand what I'm saying? And not to mention, when you hit mostly women and children, they showed some videos that, and we don't really care one way or the other.
Right.
But to see children unalive, it's a horrible look. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And now what's happening now is people are actually realizing how much of a beast these people are. Now, what makes them different from America? Think about this, right? America went into Afghanistan and killed over 1 million innocent people. So what makes them different from Afghanistan? Look at what America has done in Libya. What makes the so-called Israelis any different than America and what America did to the Libyans? What they did, think about it, right? What they did in Iraq, in the early war in Iraq, before they got Saddam Hussein. Look at all of the innocent people that they killed in there. Think about this. Now, what you have to really think about now is, what's the definition of a terrorist? You gotta go ahead.
I was gonna say, terrorist is someone that I would say come in, maybe like who the objective it is to do a genocide of people in their land.
That right there, that's a piece of it, right? Think about a terrorist. Think about the word terror. To inflict terror, right? To inflict terror on a civilian population, not on a military force, but on a civilian population.
Right.
To inflict terror on a civilian population, whether you're using starvation, whether you're using propaganda, whether you're using drugs or bullets. You understand? That's terrorism. You understand? So now we're going to come back across the water to America. Whether you're using starvation, we see all our brothers and sisters in those tent cities all across, the people that we feed when we go out and we feed them.
Right.
Whether you're using drugs, shuffling drugs into our community, whether you're sending misinformation by propaganda. You understand?
If I could, it's like what you brought out when you were speaking about the why child support has power, because it's like you said, they're creating a homeless person. When they tell not child support, I mean
welfare.
Right. So it's like you said, like that, and that's how it stuck with me, because you said they're creating a homeless person because they saying the man gotta go.
Right.
He gotta get out the house.
Right.
And then when he go, he gotta get out of here.
So think about this, just what you said, and it's happy that you brought that out, right? Because think about it, right? Us as black men, right? What's our main objective? Internal instinct. What's that main internal instinct? Now, listen, because I don't want people to get it mixed up. Of course, we have people who don't use that internal instinct, but for the majority of us, what's that main internal instinct that we use? That I'm not going to ask you that question. I'm just going to tell you. The main internal instinct that we use is to take care of our family.
Right.
You understand? That's our number one maternal instinct.
Right.
I remember when my baby girl was first born, I did any and everything that I had to do,
Right.
even in not paying a car payment. And this is dumb stuff right here, just so she would have nice clothes.
Right.
That internal instinct, being young,
Right.
you understand, over time I evolved and started prioritizing things in a different way. But men, and I'm not talking about women, I'm talking about men instinctively. We have that internal instinct to take care of the family,
Right.
to make sure. So just like you said before, when they remove us from the household and now we got to find somewhere else to live, you understand? Our internal instinct is still, I need to still help. Even if it costs me where I'm at,
Right.
I need to still do that. Just like you said, creating a homeless person,
Right.
creating a situation. You understand? That's terrorism. Think about it, right? Just like you said before, or just like we was talking about last week, connecting that welfare system to the child support system, then connecting the child support system to the MVA.
Right.
So now you get on welfare, she put you on child support, you can't pay the child support, and they take your license. Because think about it, once they take your license, right, most of the time we can only get a job that's that's close to us, and all of the jobs that's close to us don't pay enough for us to survive.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So we gotta drive somewhere out,
Right.
or get somewhere that we know this will help me maintain. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
The situation that they put us in, it doesn't affect 100% of us, but it affects enough of us to have a major and a negative outcome. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Hence, you see tents and homeless people laying around and laying on the streets. I'm not saying 100% of them come from that, but let's think about the brothers that's in prison that get locked up because they couldn't pay their child support, so they send they put a warrant out for your arrest and they in prison.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Think about the brothers that get into it with their family because they don't make enough. And then what do we always say? Well, you ain't trying hard enough. That's the pressure that gets put on us in situations like that, especially when people don't understand how the system is built. You understand?
Right.
Only thing they know is, well, other people out there doing their thing, you could get out there too. Not understanding that everybody's situation is different. You understand? Everybody don't have the same opportunities.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
People think about how many people have you heard say, "Yo, I gotta connect down City Hall." Think about it, right?
Right.
It ain't many. I ain't really never heard nobody say, "I gotta connect down City Hall," or "I gotta connect at the welfare department," or "I gotta connect at child support." Them is systems them is connects that we never had. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You can get a drug connect. That's easy. You feel me?
Right.
But the real connects that we need are damn near impossible to get. You understand what I'm saying? And this is the reason why we got to start training our people up, especially coming from his age,
Right.
to learn how, when you get in a position of opportunity, make sure you look out for your people. Because think about this, right? This is what our oppressor does. Think about this, right? An Asian hit us. This was damn near last year, right? Hit us. She tried to call us and say, "Well, how do we want to settle this without going to court?" Like it was our fault. She had a lawyer call. He must be stupid. But my whole point is they have people, even in a dirty situation, that'll look out for them.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Even if it's a hustle. Me and an Asian dude came over to the same lane. We just tapped like that, no dents or nothing, but his hubcap came off. He tried to get $50,000. Lawyers and everything in court. From a hubcap coming off. You understand what I'm saying? Not that it was my fault or his fault, but we came over from. I figured that was going to be drop or boom. Oh no, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, this is how we have to train up, but we have to do it in a righteous way. You understand what I'm saying? We can't go about the way that our oppressor or the heathens do it. It's got to be in a righteous way. We have to bring our children up to learn to be righteous,
Right.
so that we can put them in position. We can put them in the positions of lawyers and judges and different things like that. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that the outcomes can be proper and can be fair. You understand? You know, when they say justice is blind,
Right.
justice is blind when it comes to the oppressor.
Mm-hmm.
But justice got the blindfold off, looking right at you, make sure she can point you out. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, that nigga guilty. You understand?
Yeah.
Justice ain't blind when it comes to us,
Right.
but it's blind when it comes to our oppressor. You understand what I'm saying? We got to be strong, man. We got to be diligent. You understand? King A checking in from Baltimore City. Sister Rawai checking in from Baltimore City. Brother Alazar checking in from Baltimore City. He's sitting right here. My brother's sitting right up here with me. Princess Nazama Anna checking in from, let's see, New Orleans, Louisiana. What's going on, sis? Good looking out, good checking in. I hear that. Hold up, wait a minute. Rib of Priest, Officer 5000 Matabar. From down in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Right up right now. Yeah, Louisiana in the house. I hear that. You understand? Check this out, right? This is the One West News Desk. I had another article, but my time is up here. We're going to shut it down for a minute, and we're going to come back with the class for the night. We're going to shut it down and be back. Give us about 5 or 10 minutes. Give us a little bit of time so we can reset up the stream. And shalom, sisters and brothers, and we out.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to ISUPK.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West. They're